All right, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Fanon, and in this video, we got some great news. Looks like Jaron Ennis is getting somebody actually looking for a fight with him, and that is the Cuban fighter Yordenis Ugas. Let's talk about what Yordenis Ugas had to say in this video. All right, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Fanon, and in this video, we're going to talk about a fight that very well may take place early part of next year, and that is Jaron "Boots" Ennis being called out by Yordenis Ugas, the guy that just got done fighting against Errol Spence Jr. and in a matchup that I think would be a terrific fight. Before I get into the details though, let me welcome you back to the channel. If you are new to the channel, please accept my invitation to hit that subscribe button, hit that bell icon so you can be notified of when we release more videos. If you are a longtime subscriber or supporter, thank you so much for your support. There is a new way that you can support the channel, which is the super thanks. You can see that with the heart down below. All right, so you have Jaron Ennis, who is one of the best young fighters in the sport of boxing, if not one of the best fighters in the sport of boxing, period. I know there are a lot of people out there that keep saying, and they're in the live stream, you guys are in the comment section when I make these videos about Jaron Ennis, saying that he has, you're going to wait to see, what he does when he gets in there against somebody, that is, I don't know who you waiting to see him fight. But for me, I already see it, and pretty much everything this dude does, that he is one of the best fighters out there. You've got pretty much all of the other top fighters acknowledging that as well. They're not waiting around. Guys like Terrence Crawford, Errol Spence, Roy Jones Jr., Floyd Mayweather, guys like that ain't sitting around waiting and wondering what Jaron Ennis is going to be. They're already pretty much saying what it is. But as of right now, he does not hold a belt. He is in the top 5. He's in the top 3 of every major sanctioning body, the WBA, the WBC, the IBF, and the WBO. He is, I do believe he is I don't believe, I know that he is the mandatory for Errol Spence Jr.'s title for the IBF, right? However, he is in a situation like the rest of the people in the welterweight division, which is a bit of a holding pattern, waiting for that Errol Spence, Terrence Crawford undisputed fight to either take place or not take place. In order for him to get an opportunity to really bust out on the scene. And, but as of right now, his trainer, Bozy Ennis, has said that they've been trying to get, a fight with anybody to prove themselves. They wanted obviously they want the Errol Spence Jr. fight. They want the Terrence Crawford fight. They want the Keith Thurman fight. And he said, also, that they want to fight Ugas. So Ugas now says that, look, that he is also, that he's not retiring. Now, just to kind of give you a little bit of background on Yordenis Ugas. Yordenis Ugas is the former WBA super welterweight champion. And when I say WBA super, I mean the title, not super welterweight. So he's the WBA super 154 pound, WBA super welterweight 147 pound, former champion who just lost to Errol Spence Jr. in a absolute, man, that was one of the best fights I've seen in a long time. I would call it a war, and I think it was. There were some moments, definitely some moments for Yordenis Ugas in there. However, Ugas wound up being felled by Errol Spence Jr. due to Errol breaking his orbital bone, right? But other than that, man, I thought Yordenis Ugas definitely put up a really good fight, and he would be a very, very good test for Jaron Ennis, and probably a perfect next fight for Jaron, because he is a former champion in that division. He's also somebody that, where one of the champions have recently fought him. So, and that is, the fight with Errol Spence Jr. So if he goes in there and he has an easier time with Yordenis Ugas than Errol Spence Jr. had, that shines and makes him, makes it even a better situation for him. And also, Yordenis Ugas is not some lightweight fighter that is going to, kind of cower from the competition. He's a come forward fighter, but he is also a very highly skilled fighter and in a better win than anybody that Jaron Ennis currently has, on his resume. However, as far as how the fight goes, I got to take Jaron Ennis in that fight. People, if he does fight Jaron, I know what the naysayers are going to say. They're going to say, well, he just lost, he beat Jaron beat Yordenis Ugas, but Yordenis Ugas had already been beaten by Errol Spence. He had already been beaten by Sean Porter at 140 pounds. He had already been he lost to Amir Imam at 140 pounds. So they'll probably still try to take something away from him. But I say, man, let's make that fight happen. Let's get that going. Cannot be enough fights made at 147 pounds for me. And I'm not going to brush off or pretty much count out Yordenis Ugas. Yordenis Ugas moving forward, man. He's one of the best dudes in that division. And he's going to test Jaron Ennis, without a doubt. He's somebody that, being from that Cuban school of fighting, he's never, let me put it this way, he's lost fights, but he's never been in a fight. He's never been beaten by a guy where he was not, given for periods of time, given as good as he got, right? A lot of people think he beat Sean Porter and should have been the WBC champion when he beat Sean Porter. He also, I don't think that you should underestimate his win over Manny Pacquiao, even though obviously Manny Pacquiao was, longer in the tooth at the time. Still, Manny Pacquiao was a legitimate Hall of Fame fighter and a top level guy. Having been in the ring with Sean Porter, having been in the ring with Errol Spence Jr. and Manny Pacquiao, being in the ring with all those type of guys, and that Cuban pedigree that he has, he's going to be able to give Jaron Ennis some looks that Jaron Ennis hasn't seen from the other fighters that we've seen Jaron Ennis in there with. And it definitely is a step up from his last fight with Thomas Delorme, or the fight before that with Sergey Lipinets, or the fight with Chris Van Heerden. Definitely, a big step up, and something that is a recognizable name with Yordenis Ugas having been in big profile fights in his last several fights, right? So it should serve, Jaron Ennis well in many different ways if they make that fight. Now, I don't believe that fight is going to happen next for Jaron. Right now, Jaron Ennis, I did a video the other day where somebody out of his camp, had mentioned that Jaron believes that he's either going to fight Keith Thurman or the Russian guy next, and the Russian guy can be either Staniyansis or Butiev. Not sure which one of the two those guys are going to be. Which one of the two is going to be, but more than likely it's going to be the guy with the least options, because I don't think anybody's really in a rush to get in there with Jaron. So, maybe Butiev, because Butiev, has just lost to Staniyansis. I know Staniyansis is also has a mandatory shot at Errol Spence Jr. So not sure if Staniyansis is going to be willing to give that up for nothing less than a pretty penny. But, all in all, man, it looks like we're going to get some good things going on for Jaron, and for the weight class. Now, I'm not, again, I sound like I'm counting out Ugas, to beat, as far as him being able to beat Jaron. And I kind of am. However, I do believe that, he is definitely going to be somebody that is going to give Jaron some things to think about. It's not going to be like, Jaron's last fight was Custio Clayton, not Thomas Delorme. Thomas Delorme was before that. I don't think it's going to be a situation like it was with Custio Clayton, where he clips Custio Clayton and gets him out of there. But anyway, hopefully we'll see it, and we'll see it soon. You let me know what you think of the fight in the comments section. And with that, I'm out. Deuces.